Let's get it on. Sugar. Let's get it on.
Clearly, I suck at attempting to, I don't know, appear sexual in any way because this was meant to be a big joke in which, like, you saw the title, you saw me like with, you know, I'm putting my moves on here, and you think, oh my god, Noria is doing some sexy time readathon. No, that is unfortunately not what the FuckAthon is all about. And yeah, I just said fuck because, see, I already knew I wanted to do 2 readathons, hopefully do 2 readathons this year, and I figured June is a great like month to announce one of the readathons that I'm planning, and then the second readathon will come towards the later part of the year because I'm still trying to work out some logistics part of it and trying to figure out if I can pull it off. But yes, so yeah, I just thought, I was like, okay, what would fit my brand best, you know, with regards to readathon, other than my second readathon? And I'm like, do you know what? I love fuck. I love the word fuck. I love the amount of power the word gives to something, especially when you're when you're taking a stand, when you're deciding that you're going to stand up for something, then fuck is really, really powerful. And I do believe that it's unfortunately not as valued, you know, as it should be, because there are so many things we should just say fuck to. So I was like, you know what, fuck that shit. We're gonna do a readathon, and I'm gonna call it the FuckAthon, because in the FuckAthon, we're all about the fucks we give, the fucks we don't, and the shit we're fresh out of fucks to give.
Won't let my freedom right in hell. Hey, I'ma keep running cause a winner don't quit on himself.
So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I totally want to do this readathon, and I figured that July would be a good month to have it. Hopefully there are not that many readathons happening in July. And this is going to be a month-long readathon because you see from the prompt and the group book why it's so. Because I want it to be pretty chill, because we're making a stand and we're like saying fuck all this shit, you know. But at the same time, let's not fuck with, you know, personal time and breathing space and being able to actually enjoy the whole experience. So yes, this is my very first attempt at hosting a readathon. I might suck at it, but I don't give a fuck. And who knows, hopefully by the next iterations of it, like the one that I do next year and the year after that, I would have gotten a better hang of it. So if it does not work out as well, it's gonna work out, like, yeah. But if you have any suggestions as to how it could be better, I'm open to suggestions. Please just let me know. But yes, so the FuckAthon is a month-long readathon that will take place throughout the month of July, from the 1st to the 31st of July, where we read books that fit prompts that are connected to all the things we are basically, you know, flipping the bird. But yes, so who can participate? Anybody can participate, so far as you feel really passionate about any of these prompts or any of this topic or even anything else. You know, I'm open to suggestions for next year's FuckAthon. Just putting it out there, just saying. But so far as you're passionate about any of these things, you can definitely participate in it. The Twitter for the FuckAthon is @the_FuckAthon. I would link the Twitter page down in the description bar. You can check it out. Go follow. Let's get prepared with our TBRs for FuckAthon, because goddamn, I like the way that word sounds, the way it just rolls off the tongue. FuckAthon. Okay, so I did come up with a couple of prompts and a group book, which I hope we're going to host a live show. I've never attempted a live show, so I have, but I've not attempted to host one. So all about learning. We're all learning all about this business. So I never tried hosting one. I sincerely hope it goes well, and I do think that the book we are choosing is one that would allow for lots of conversations and discussions, and it's substantial enough to take like the entire month. Like if you read it in bits, you'll definitely be thinking of like points and stuff. Like take notes. Let's talk about it. Let's tweet at the FuckAthon like your thoughts as you're reading any of these books. I want this to feel as immersive and engaging as possible, because certain times we have a lot of fucks to give, and this is one of those periods. The prompts are pretty easy, and if you need any book recommendations at any point in time, just let me know. I'm also going to leave the prompts down in the description bar below, so you can go back and check them as you're putting together your TBR, because like I said, it's throughout the month of July. We still have time to build up that TBR, and I sincerely hope that the FuckAthon is a success. So the very first prompt says, fuck racism. Read a book that explores race relations. So think about it. It's not necessarily, don't think about it in terms of, okay, this is automatically where my mind goes. You know, just think about it in any times. It can be with regards to, you know, white and black, or Afro-Latinx, like how things occur, like the tension that takes place within the Afro-Latinx community. Anything that basically has to do with race relations, no matter the race involved, definitely fits into this category. Now, the second prompt says, fuck the patriarchy. Read a book that challenges patriarchal norms and behavior. And this can be in any form or any way. Like, we all know a patriarchal system is basically just a system whereby power resides in the arms of, you know, the men. They determine and dictate exactly what goes on with the rest of us. Unfortunately, in the world at large, we operate majorly a patriarchal system. Even systems that make you think for a second that, oh yes, you know what, there's an equal balance, there's no particular gender in charge of it all, it's just all a front. So yes, at least most of it is a front. So yeah, so any form of book that challenges that breaks the status quo, it has everything to do. It can be with regards to succession, like, you know, the law of succession. Maybe all this while it's been a man, and then a woman says, you know what, I want to do this. Or it might be, maybe there's a particular group or a sector or a particular profession that women traditionally are expected not to go into, like it's all for the boys. And then a girl, a woman, a non-binary person, like, do you know what, fuck that shit. I belong, I deserve to be here. I have worked to be here. You know, any form of fuck the patriarchy that you can find in a book that is like two fingers blazing up and is like, nobody, no old ass person, no old ass man is going to determine exactly what I do and say and the decisions I take with my life. That is the book for this prompt. And like, I'm so looking forward to seeing what people choose for this prompt. Now, the third prompt is fuck ageism. Read a book that centers a well-rounded older character. Now, I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, yes, do not just pick any random book that has an older person. You want a book that you know, talks about their loves, their lives, you know, that treats them as people, not just, oh, somebody's grandparents, but what are their hopes, what are their dreams, what are their aspirations, what are the things they are going through, what are the things that, you know, society has always tried to downplay for them, but you can see full-fledged. Like, did you know older people like to have sex? Yes, I know, blows your mind, doesn't it? But like, younger people like to have sex. Why shouldn't older people want to have sex? Why shouldn't they also have that sex drive? Why shouldn't they want to have a sex drive? These are the books we want to focus on. Books that have older people living full, vibrant, well-rounded lives. So, yes. Do not think that, oh, it's going to be too hard or too tricky. Trust me, books abound. We just have to find them. And that is the whole point of this, to fuck the, what has so far been the status quo that we all know does not work, and we all know is not right, and it's about time we are just like, fuck that shit. So yes. The fourth prompt is fuck heteronormativity. And this is just pretty simple. Read a book that is queer as fuck. I mean, like, look for the queerest. Go for that shit. Like, revel in that shit. Be like, this shit is the fucking ass bomb. Like, there is no limits, none whatsoever. Just pick a book that is queer as fuck. Simple, easy, no problems. Like, I think that's actually the simplest prompt. I think so. I personally think so. And then we have the fifth prompt, which is fuck realism. And this is pretty simple as well. Read a fantasy book, any fantasy book. If you're like, oh my God, I rarely read fantasy, then you could try a paranormal contemporary. So you do have a bit of that contemporary edge, but you also have a bit of fantasy. It's the same thing with thrillers. If you would rather read thrillers, go for a paranormal thriller, you know, something with light elements of fantasy in it, but still with a bit of the genre you traditionally prefer / like. But any book, just pick any book that you read it, you pick it up and it's like, okay, this is a fantasy book. Does it have fantastical elements? If it has fantastical elements, then you can read it. The 6th prompt is fuck pollution. Now, I know we don't need to, like, I'm certain we all know exactly what is going on. We can all see it, the changes in the weather, the climate, exactly what it is that we've all been harping on. I do think that shit is about it the fan. And it's important for us to be knowledgeable and be aware. And this is just a pretty chill prompt. So read any literature whatsoever that talks about pollution or climate change. It doesn't have to be a book. It can be a 2-paged essay that, you know, that just gives you further insight or information. Something you've not read before that just talks about climate change. So just knock yourself out. It can be a book as well, if that is what you prefer. But any form of literature that talks about pollution or climate change is just... yes, that's the 6th prompt. Just fuck pollution. Read anything, any form of literature that talks about pollution or climate change. It would also help if you forward this literature to, like, you know, people around you, so that as a group, as a whole, we can, I don't know, try and fix shit before it's totally and completely irreversible. Like, we're really close. We are really, really close. Now, the 7th prompt is fuck abuse. And this, just pick a book that focuses on any form of abuse. It doesn't have to be physical. It can be mental. It can be emotional. It can be financial. Just any form of, it can even be sexual. Focus on pick any book that focuses on any form of abuse whatsoever. And just, now I know this is hard because even thinking about it already has me panicking, but I don't know, I didn't state it in the beginning, but if any of these prompts are difficult for you to read or, you know, or any form of way, then please don't. Like, you don't, it's not mandatory for you to answer all the prompts, right? So it's just, you don't need to. So if it is that you know that, okay, reading about any form of abuse is going to be triggering, then please, you don't need to. You can just move to another prompt. Just move to another prompt. Now, the next prompt is fuck classism. And this is pretty simple. Pick a book that explores class stratification and the role it plays in a character's life. So what does it mean to be poor? What does it mean when you have dreams and you're poor and you cannot fulfill it? So this can cut across different genres, right? You don't necessarily... Actually, any of these prompts can cut across different genres except for fuck pollution, because in that we're just specifically reading literature that fits into that bill. But any of these prompts can fall into any genre. You can find a romance book that deals with classism. You can find a thriller that deals with classism. You can find a paranormal contemporary that deals with classism. Just so far as it is that you're reading about characters who have to battle, you know, the implications of what not readily having funds, what it means for them, what it means with terms to their education, them pursuing their dreams, or even the education of the people they're taking care of. You know, it might not even be education, it might even be like welfare or any form of way, but just any book that explores what that means and the impact it plays on the character's life fits this prompt. Just any book whatsoever. And the last prompt, or at least that's the prompt before the group book, right? The last prompt is pretty straightforward. Fuck ableism. So read a book with a main character that has a disability. This can be a singular point of view. It can be maybe in an ensemble cast, anything. Just have the main character have a disability. It can be visible, it can be invisible. The choice is yours, but just that prompt is pretty simple, I think. So yes. So now that I've stated all the prompts, I would like to point out once again, like I said, this readathon is going to be taking place throughout the entire month, from the 1st to the 31st of July. You can combine prompts. You don't need to pick a book that fits each prompt. Combine, play along with it. You can drop prompts. Any prompts that you're not comfortable reading, drop it. No chill. Like, remember, the important thing for you to fuck with right now is yourself. So like, ensure that, you know, your well-being is first. Like, you fucks with you, so put yourself first. That's just it. So yes, now I will go on to the books I am personally going to be reading for the readathon. Like I said, if you need any recommendations, please feel free to drop a comment down in this video below, or just tweet at the FuckAthon, and you'll definitely get recommendations, especially if you're like, okay, this is actually what I prefer, this is the genre I prefer. Do you have any recommendations for me, sir? Who knows? I'm willing to help. I am willing to help. Why? Because I do not want the FuckAthon to flop. I actually want people to like this and to participate in this, because fuck, this took so long to conceptualize. So editing Naria, yeah, I know. I just woke up. I have my satin bonnet on. I have my night cord sleep mask, that I got from Outcrate, because goddamn, this thing is so soft and gorgeous. Anyway, editing Naria coming in to tell you that please tag your tweet, your TBRs, everything with hashtag FuckAthon 2019. That's the hashtag I'm going to be following on Twitter. I want to see everything, and that's the only way in which I can actually make sure I see all your tweets and all your comments. So please. Okay, so now to the book. So the very first prompt says that fuck racism. Read a book that explores race relations. And for that, I will be going with Lorde's Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. Now, I think the reason why I'm choosing this non-fictional collection of essays, or rather an expansion of an original essay that she had on her website and then developed on, is because the title speaks for itself, but also because a lot of the time when we talk about racism, it's usually centered around American, racism in America. And I think that I want to explore, other people in other parts of the world also talking about racism and how they deal with it, especially Black Britons. And I think that this is actually this is a great book that talks about the subject. I have not read it. I try my best to know as little as possible, especially when I'm reading when I'm reading a lot of books, I try my best to know as little as possible so I can be pleasantly surprised. But this is definitely a book I've had on my to-read list for quite a while, and I think this is just the perfect readathon to read it. So yes, definitely. Now, the second prompt says fuck the patriarchy, and for that I am going with The Girl King by Mimi Yu. Now, I already stated that the prompt for fuck the patriarchy is that, oh, do you know what? Choose a character that breaks and goes against societal norms and behaviors, right? And I think that nobody best fits that than, or at least, okay, I won't say nobody best, but I think that these two sisters in this book definitely fit that prompt. The first, Lou is the elder sister. All her life she's been raised to rightfully claim a birthright because she's a princess and she's the first in line to the throne. And unfortunately, her father gets older, and then her father decides to give the throne to a cousin who is a man, and Lou is offended and insulted, rightfully so, and decides to leave to go raise her army so that she can reclaim her throne. And Min, on the other hand, decides to stay, but in staying she discovers powers within herself and then decides to challenge even that norm that, okay, why must it be my elder sister to rule when I have the power and I can just take this power for myself? And I love the dynamics, and I love the fact that these are two strong women who are not going to let the patriarchy decide for them their fate. They've decided that this is mine and I'm going to claim it and I'm going to take it for my own, especially because it is my right. So one of them right by birth and the second right by might. And I'm definitely interested. I've had this book, I've been wanting to read this book. It's on my anticipated read of 2019, definitely in that video if you go check it out. But I've been looking forward to reading it, and now I get the chance to, and I'm so happy about that. Now, the third prompt says fuck ageism, and we're meant to read a book that features a well-rounded older character. And for that, I'm going with Like a Mole Bringing Ice Cream to the Sun by Sarah Ladipo Mayinka. This book technically tells the story of Marayo. She's a 75-year-old woman. She's living her best life. She's driving a vintage Porsche. She's like meeting strangers, making conversations with them. She's basically living this really cool, robust life until she breaks her hip and has to be moved to this older people's home. And this is basically told from the perspective of, okay, Marayo in the present and Marayo in the past, thinking back on all the adventures and all the things she's seen and all the places she's been. So basically, it's about her fighting, to maintain that unbroken spirit that she's had all her life. Like, she's not going to lose it just because she's old, and nobody is going to put her in a home when she doesn't want to be, considering the fact that she still has her best life ahead of her. Like, she just sounds like a riot. She sounds like she's going to be a lot of fun to be reading about her. This is, I repeat, this is a 75-year-old woman who has lived life and who is still living life and who still wants to live life. And just thinking about all the amazing characters she's met throughout her life, and all these characters that, you know, pop into her head from the past, and even that she's meeting in the future. Like, I want to read this book. I want to read this book so bad, and it sounds like it's going to be fantastic. So the fourth prompt says, fuck heteronormativity, and we're meant to read a book that is queer as fuck. And for that, I am going with Once Ghosted, Twice Shy by Alyssa Cole. Like, is there anything queer? Okay, fine, I'm certain that there is. Well, just picture it, imagine it. Two black women in love, you know, getting sexy times on. Like, what is not to love? So basically, yes, this book is all about Lorde, who in the previous books in the series, which by the way I intend to read this month. I haven't actually read any of the previous books, but I'm definitely going to read them this month in preparation for, you know, July. So in the previous books, I think it's in the first book, Lorde follows her boss to New York and meets Fabiola, and they have this old relationship, like this brief whirlwind romance. But then Fabiola dumps her, and then fast forward a couple of years later, and they meet again in New York, and this time around Fabiola is asking her out, you know, for a drink, and then they're talking, and as they're talking, they're exploring the city, and the new emotions and feelings, and old feelings get rekindled. Like, it just, I love me a second chance at love type story, and this is definitely what this seems like. And it's just going to be, it sounds like it's going to be cute and fun and cutesy and sexy and queer as fuck. Now the next prompt says, fuck realism, read a fantasy book. Now, if you spent any amount of time on my channel, you know that fantasy is my jam. Like, I love fantasy, and of course some of the books I've already chosen already have fantastical elements. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to add another fantasy book to the mix, and that would be The Magician King by Lev Grossman. This is the second book in the Magician's trilogy, also by Lev Grossman. And I've actually not read the first book yet. I'm body reading the first book in June, because after that traumatizing ending of a season finale, a very good friend of mine, Mila, sent me the trilogy. Like, she's amazing. She is so fucking amazing. So Mila sends me the trilogy, and she's like, yo, Nora, you know what, you need to read those books, because trust me, Lev did not do us dirty. Like, he treated us well and he fed us well. So I'm like, okay, you know what, sure, thank you very much. Like, you're sending me the books, thank you. So let's body read it. So we're body reading The Magicians this month, and then I definitely plan on reading The Magician King in July, because we're going to space it over the next 3 months. So yes, I have no idea what is going to happen in Magician's King. I have only a basic understanding of what happens in The Magician. And what is The Magicians about? The Magicians is basically, think of it as this school of magic, right? But it's grad school, and magic in this world has extreme dire consequences. It comes from pain. So shit happens, they keep trying to fix it with magic, and it just keeps getting worse. But at the same time, magic is, it brings as much joy as it brings pain, so they cannot really totally and completely cut themselves off from it. And then there's this magical land called Fillory, and like, you have to read it or watch it to really appreciate it. But trust me, there's no amount of way in which I can sell it that will convince you that this is good. But this is so good. Like, if it is anything like the TV show, I am 100% certain that you will love this book, because I love the TV show, except for the most recent season finale. Like, no. But yes, so it's high fantasy, lots of dark themes, lots of magic, lots of fantastical elements. Definitely fits the fuck realism prompt. Now the sixth prompt is fuck pollution, and like I already said, just read any literature that speaks about pollution or climate change. I will definitely be talking about whatsoever literature I read for this prompt during the live show. Yes, I will probably be doing a live show for this. Like, not probably, I totally would be doing a live show for this. So yes, look out for that. But definitely doing that. Now the next prompt after that is fuck abuse, and we're meant to read a book that focuses on any form of abuse. And for that, I am going with The Loves and Lies of Roxana Ali by Sabina Khan. I know I have been saying that I want to read this book. I've been stating this like forever. I have full confidence that July is going to be the month when I finally do get the chance to read it. And goddamn. Okay, so the reason why I'm putting this for this prompt is because so many people have been kind enough to tell me that, you know what, like, Noria, brace yourself, because there is some serious abuse in this book. When Roxana is discovered by her mother and, you know, shipped off to Bangladesh, her family accepts her with the full intention of being able to correct her. And just that thought already alone is traumatizing for me. So this is definitely not going to be an easy book to read, but I was told that it does eventually pay off. Not pay off, but like it gets easier, but that's like at the end. So I just have to brace myself. And I probably, to help me with this, I'm probably going to read Once Ghosted Twice Shy after this. Like, I'm not going to read that book before it because I want something. I know that after how intense this book will be for me to read, I definitely am going to need something that is fluffy and light and romantic, you know, to help me deal with the aftermath of this. But yes, for those of you that don't know, The Loves and Lies of Roxana Ali it's a book all about Roxana. She's this Bengali Muslim lesbian, and who has basically just been living the dual life and trying to be that time until she goes to college and can like live her life on her own terms. Unfortunately, her mother walks in on her with a girlfriend and ships her off to Bangladesh to stay with extended family. And over there, while trying to, you know, deal with all the shit that while trying to deal with every single thing that her extended family tosses away in order to, you know, try and correct her, she discovers her grandmother's journal, and in the journal finds strength in order to take her stand, live her truth, and at the same time not lose the love of the family that means so much to her. So I am preparing myself. I know this book is going to break me. I know I'm going to cry, but I also have a feeling that I'm going to love it. So fingers crossed. Now the 8th prompt says fuck classism, and we're meant to pick a book that explores class stratification and the role it plays on a character's life. And for that, I am going with On the Come Off by Angie Thomas. Now the lead character, Bree, she's a rapper. She's 16. She's a 16-year-old rapper who basically wants to follow the footsteps of her father, who was an underground rapper, but unfortunately died before he was able to hit it big. Now, Bree tries to release this mixtape, but because of all the things she's dealing with, for example, she's being treated like a hoodlum at school. At home, there is no food. They have no food. Their bills are piling up and everything else. She vents her frustration, and unfortunately that frustration is what is captured, and that is the music that is put out there to represent her as this is who she is. And everybody as a result has this perception about what kind of person, what kind of rapper she is, even though that is not actually what she wants to do. But their rent is due. She has to help her mother, who has also lost her job at this point, and in order to do so, she has to accept this label that is being slapped on her, this label that does not fit her, that does not fit who she is and the music she makes, just in order to, you know, help the family. And this just basically Angie broke me with The Hate You Give, so I know that this is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait to read it, and I definitely do think that it fits the prompt of classism and also racism perfectly well. Like, this book just fits that. And the final prompt before the group book is fuck ableism, and we're meant to read a book with a main character that has a disability, which can be visible or invisible, depends. And for that, I am going with 6 of Crows by Lee Bardugo. Now, one of the main characters in this book, okay, let me just state generally what this book is about. If you have no idea what this book is about, it's basically all about my children, you know, 6 of them, 6 of Crows. They have great relationship and great camaraderie, although it takes a while for them to get to that point. And they work well as a team, except when they don't, and then they come back to work together as a team. And they have this heist that they pull off, except when it is that they are backstabbed, and then they have to pull up a big heist. Basically, my children just, you know, they're smarter than everybody, and they want things more than everybody. So yeah, I'm not going to give any detailed. It's a fantastic book. This is my reread. This is a reread for me because I definitely said I was going to read this book this year, and I just think that this is a perfect book that fits the prompt, so why the hell not? Now, Kaz Brecker, one of the main characters and the love of my life, my precious son, in this book has a disability. He walks with a limp due to an accident he has as a child, and he also has an intense phobia and cannot bear to be touched. Like, it is very traumatizing for him if he's touched or if he has to touch somebody, so he constantly has on gloves. And in the one instance in the book when his gloves come up and he's touched, it's a traumatizing experience for him. So I definitely think of him as someone with both a visible and invisible disability, and I think he fits this prompt perfectly. And finally, there's the group book. The group book for the FuckAthon is going to be Sister Outsider, Essays and Speeches by Audre Lorde. Now, Audre Lorde is an icon. She's a lesbian, she's a mother, she's a cancer survivor, she's a feminist, she's a cancer survivor, she's a feminist, she's a poet, she's a writer, she's so many things. And our essays and our speeches basically talk about the intersection of so many identities, and all this from experience. She speaks about, she speaks about racism, about sexism, about heterosexism, about classism. She speaks about ableism. She speaks about ageism. She speaks about homophobia. She speaks about she speaks about war. She speaks about imperialism. She speaks about, the need to recognize and embrace our differences as a vehicle for change. Like, our essays, speeches, and even poems are very, very powerful. And Sister Outsider is a collection of amazing essays. Like, I have been looking forward to reading this since I got it about 2 years ago, and I never got the chance to. And I just think that it's fate leading me to this moment to, like, you know what, Noria, you definitely need to read this now. So yes, that is the group book. I am going to be listening to it on audiobook. I'm going to be listening to it throughout the entire month of July. So if you have any thoughts, even before the live show, just like I said, tweet us at the FuckAthon, and I'll definitely get back to you. So yes, those are the prompts. That's my TBR. Let me know if you're going to be participating. Please share this video. If the FuckAthon is something that you think a lot of people should participate in, please share the video. Invite your friends. Like, it's open. Please do not let it flop. Please do not let it flop. I am definitely going to be leaving all the prompts down below, as well as the group book, like the link for you to get the group book. So yes, that will be all. Now, the live show will most likely hold, not most likely, because time zones can be very bitchy. So yes, so the live show is going to be holding on the 27th of July. So that will be the last Sunday in July. And please come, please read the books, please read the group book, read any other books. Like, let's have a conversation. Read your literature text on pollution. Let's talk about it. I don't want this to flop, and I want people to talk to about books. So please let it work. If you like this video, please do not forget to give it a big thumbs up. Check out my other videos. Subscribe if you want to. I make new videos every Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and I'll see you soon. Until then, stay passionate, love books, love yourself, and remember, you are fucking brilliant, fucking awesome. This is our fucking planet. Like, let's fucking make some demands. So